I happened to be in Cape Town, South Africa. I was walking into this church, and as I'm walking in, I see this hole in the wall with this thing that looks like a mail drop. And as I'm walking by, I'm like, what is this and what is it used for? And the person that was carting us around, she said, well, women bring their babies here at night because they can't care for them. And then someone from the church adopts them. And I'm like, shut the front door, like, does this really work? Like, is this something that is really working in this country? They had saved 7 babies that year.
Pepper, is you gonna come to work?
Oh, yeah, he's here. He's just slow.
Did y'all hear that?
17, 18?
No, they're pretty much done. Yeah.
And then 19 and 20?
Framed up and starting.
Should I erase 17, 18? Not
Yeah.
12. Not 12, it's done.
Did you look at the boxes that we got from Jason's to make sure that they're done right?
No, I haven't had a chance to yet.
Put that on your list. Check Fab Corp 4 boxes. I briefly looked at them, JJ, and they don't look bad.
Yeah. So, my buddy got married. Went back to his apartment. We were staying there for the night because it was down in Kentucky. Well, we all started drinking and everything, and our buddy was there that does tattoos. And we decided to make a tattoo party in his apartment at 2 o'clock in the morning. So it was great. I got one, Kyle got 2.
There's Harper's here.
I already gave him a basic rundown.
I was not a fan when I called him from the hospital in the ER with my 12-year-old because we thought he broke his arm. When he was like, don't be mad. And I'm like, what did you do? You only ever say that when you did something stupid.
So Aiden is Raven's oldest son, and then Bellamy is my son that I had with them.
I was like, you can't get a tattoo while you're drinking. That thins your blood, you know. I went all scientific on him, and I was like, that's dumb. He sent me a picture of it. I was like, I guess that's all right.
Get my little army. Something.
Little army.
Yeah. Send them off, go do something.
They definitely bring down the chaos.
You guys are a bunch of right-wing extremists who promotes Roe versus Wade being overturned. Let me tell you something. You would never ever need such a stupid box if the law was still in effect. Take your religion and beliefs and shut the f*** up. Funny, this is from a man. I think I'll respond to him. So I just got did you hear my phone ding? I just got pictures of one of our babies. Oh my god, he's just the cutest. This is Ollie. They send these to me periodically.
Start your day with that email and you get these kind of like...
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely the good overpowers the bad for sure. Especially when they send these to me. And it's just random, you know, like every once in a while they'll... It's just nice. It's nice to hear from them.
Does the good outweigh the bad every day?
No. Nope, it doesn't. And those are the days where you go home and you feel defeated, and then you know the next day you just gotta get up, dress up, and show up again, and hope that it's a better day.
Aw, baby Ollie.
I just love her. What does she want? She
This
wanted isn't today, right?
Yeah, she wanted to do it today. Called her and emailed her and said, that's not gonna work. She even sent me the Zoom link. I'm like, you better calm down, girlfriend.
Well, we could do it this afternoon, just not this
Well,
morning.
yeah, but she had already set the Zoom link up for 11 o'clock without even making sure that was gonna work for you. And it's not.
She gets all excited sometimes. You just gotta calm her down. Huh, Harper? Sometimes we just gotta stand back and say, okay, calm down here. Right? Right, Harp? There she's calling! The voicemail.
You have 1 new and 21 old messages.
The Safe Haven law in Indiana was passed in 2001, and it basically says that any parent that doesn't want or can't care for their newborn child can walk into any hospital or fire station and hand their child to a person and walk away, no questions asked. So I always knew that was available as a firefighter, but I had never seen anything like this inside of this wall. And so I could not get this out of my head, and I knew we didn't have this in America. And so on the flight back from Cape Town, South Africa to Atlanta, Georgia, on a Delta napkin, now y'all know every great story happens on a Delta napkin, 37,000 feet in the air, I hand through my version of the baby box.
She took a shit back in the warehouse. Hey, Mariah. Mariah.
Come in, JJ. Give me a damn second.
You should quit smoking cigarettes around Harper. You're turning her yellow.
I'm not smoking anything around that dog.
Mm-hmm.
She's dirty. Her needs a
Look
bath.
at her. Her fur says otherwise.
I hand through my version of the baby box. And then I took it to a builder in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I walked into this office, and he's like, well, how can I help you? And I said, well, I want you to build me a baby box. And he's like, a what? I'm like, a baby box. I'm gonna put boxes in fire stations and hospitals, and I'm gonna save babies.
I was really skeptical of how it would be presented in America, because she was telling me stories of like South African baby boxes, third world country boxes. I kept thinking about it, and I was like, you know, we're just gonna do it. Just she wants a prototype, so we'll do one box.
You wanna know how to really get Mariah going?
JJ, come on.
Miracle Whip and man, tastes the same.
No, they don't.
Apparently both of you.
They taste nothing alike.
They
Miracle
don't.
Whip is better.
It is not.
It's the exact same. They taste the exact
It's
same.
terrible.
Miracle Whip?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's
Let me get
too
one of those.
tangy.
It's tangy.
Let me get one of those.
I got 7 minutes. I mean, Jason's down to earth. He's a businessman. And he'll tell you, him and I have been through some struggles.
Monica, she's 100 miles an hour all the time, so she wanted this box out there, and we kept saying no, not yet.
You know, I was trying to work on pennies on the dollar. He was trying to get paid for his work. I couldn't at the beginning. I had no money.
That's a good thing to have when you have someone pushing like that. I'm not dragging my feet. She's keeping me on my toes, making sure that we get out in a timely manner. But I'm also real with her, saying, hey, if we push these out now, there's going to be some issues here. She pushed to get out there. Well, then that developed all kinds of problems, and that's normal. Anytime you prototype, you're going to run into all kinds of issues, and we found those issues pretty quickly.
But now I think we have a really good flow. You know, Joe puts a PO into him and he gets it knocked out. JJ goes and picks him up. And he thought it was crazy. Because again, this had never been done in America. This was something that was only in third world countries.
And then she kept providing me numbers of statistics that were babies being abandoned across America. I started investigating on my own, or researching on my own, and really felt moved by what she was doing.
He gets it.
Yeah,
he does. When I first walked in that day, but he gets it now.
As a fabricator, I could get behind what we were building. And anything you do, you want to be behind it. You want to fully believe in it. But this was more than that. This was a drive.
Ask him about the negativity.
She said, this is gonna get bad. The people that are fighting us right now are pretty bad. FabCorp had gotten attacked personally from some of the people that were going against the concept of the baby boxes.
He had OSHA brought into his business. He had freaking health department brought into his business, all because of this hater from Massachusetts that was trying to take us down. So they tried to take Jason down with us because he was our builder.
I have nothing to hide. I'm an honest person, and I would welcome them in every time with open arms. And every time they would come in and they were like, we don't understand why we're here, but thank you for letting us in.
He's been loyal to us.
Something to this magnitude, what Monica's doing in Safe Haven, what they're doing, there's going to be opposition. There's going to be people that just don't agree with it.
He's fought hard. He's taken a lot of criticism.
And I would always say, you know, it's the best thing ever because number one, there's no infant fatalities. You know, babies aren't being placed in dumpsters. You know, that's what this is for.
He really has been to hell and back with us.
Meeting some of the children, you know, the very first one I can remember, the very first one I ever met, that was it. That's what sold me. No matter what, I had to be a part of it. And it's kind of self-gratifying. It's a little selfish because I like that feeling, but it's a good feeling to be a part of an organization, a movement, a thing that is helping society. So much of what we do hurts society today, in general sense. But this is a product that specifically is there to help.
And finally, he just says, you know what? I'll build you whatever you want for $700. Like, sweet. So I wrote a check from my husband's account and walked out there like a boss.
Jason actually built the original prototype for us. We were spending so much to have Fabcore build them for us that financially it was a good move for us to just start cutting and building them on our own. I have turned down multiple job opportunities that I probably shouldn't have just because I enjoy what I do. You know, when you get told by big companies, you know, we're just one big happy family and blah, 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 and really you're just a number on their clipboard, I don't feel that way here. I trust everybody there. What I do has purpose, it has meaning, and that's worth its weight in gold to me. I can just be proud of what I'm building.
Dad, did it? One of these days I'm gonna take my plate.
You don't want to break the plate. I got a hard head. If I can win against a urinal, I'll win against that plate.
A urinal?
Yeah.
You hit butter in the urinal and didn't get knocked out?
You want to know why?
Why?
Because he was double dog there to do it.
It's kind of weird actually seeing you do some kind of work here.
I do need to get more tubs.
Should I go down and get them?
Go right now?
Yeah, you go down and get them if you want. So Casey Cox, I called him and I said, hey, I want you to pass me a baby box bill. I sat down at this table with him and I had my ammunition because I had been doing research. I knew how many babies were being left in our country on the doorsteps of homes, on the doorsteps of hospitals, doorsteps of fire stations, and trash cans and dumpsters. I said, I want you to pass me a bill. This is something that's never been done, but I want to start it here in Indiana. And he says, do you have any model legislation? I'm like, dude, we are going to be the model legislation. And today, we are the model legislation in 7 years later.
So we're getting ready to ship out Mississippi's first baby box. Mississippi provider tag in our box. The 2 orange bags that have all the information in them. 2 mattress pads in the bassinet. 2 blankets. And then 2 hats for the babies.
Because again, this had never been done. I needed help. I needed somebody to tell me what we should do and what we shouldn't do. Because, you know, I'm not a college-educated woman. I'm a medic and a firefighter. You all know what that means. If you get onto your local fire station, you swear a lot. You know, we fart. You know, usually when people are around, and we usually don't shower for 3 days. But being in front of Casey Cox, he got it. He understood it. And so he passed this bill. And so that full year, we were working on this box, working on the electronics, trying to make it perfect. And then December 30th, we get a letter from the Department of Health. They took one word out of the legislation, which happens a lot. The word recommended. And they said, well, we don't recommend you use baby boxes in Indiana, so we're not making protocols. And so that was my first real roadblock.
So Madeline, and Mariah, her son is my boyfriend. I just kind of got involved when she started working here. Whatever they need me for, I'm here. So
all of this has been donated. And so we're going to put these kits together and then donate this back to a fire station and then some of the equipment that these people bought is going to be used on infants that are placed in our boxes. Pretty amazing.
So it has an OB kit, and I don't know all that's in here, but it's just got a lot of stuff that, is for babies once they're freshly born. There's baby blankets in here. This is an oxygen mask for babies that fits babies. Diapers, breathing tube, another breathing tube. In this box, there's pacifiers, baby hats, this little baby tube nose thing, and then a thermometer too, which is stethoscopes for peds specifically, and then pulse ox, which it's that box right there. We're just now getting those in. Articles supposed to.
Come here, AJ. Check your finger. Let's check you. Let's see where you at. I can feel him going like this. He's probably going like this. Oh, no. Cocky. I needed a lawyer that was going to fight. And so, I should have probably warned you guys, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little bit. Right? I do love Jesus, but I cuss a little bit. So I hired Jim Bottoms, and I said, hey, Jim, the Department of Health and Department of Child Services is saying they're not going to do these protocols. I said, is there any law in Indiana that says I can put them in? Or is there any law in Indiana that says I can't? Because you're in a gray area. There's nothing on the books that says you can't put them in, and there's nothing on the books that says you can put them in. And I said, so what you're saying is, I could put these in then, right?
When these go out, they'll take a car seat with them too.
Can we have a suggestion box?
It's called the trash. Which city in Indiana, which mayor is going to allow you to cut a hole in a $7.3 million firehouse when it hasn't passed a law yet, right? Did I tell you my husband's a mayor of Woodburn? Yeah. True story. If he wanted to go home and sleep with his wife at night, he was going to let me put that box in. Yes, he did. He now owns a camper. Makes me has to tell me no. But anyway, so Woodburn became home of safety and baby box #1 in the nation. So I put, oh, Jeff, we appreciate your email and all the colorful language included. But you have a few facts wrong. Number one, you stated if the law was still in effect. You do realize that overturning Roe v. Wade did not outlaw abortion, right? I mean, I know the wheels of government can be confusing, but if you would have done a simple, is abortion legal in America, Google search, you would have educated yourself before you wrote us. Number two, the states with the highest newborn abandonment rates are New York, California, Illinois, and Texas. Do you want to know how many of these states have abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy? New York, California, and Illinois. So your argument is false. Number three, please send me any news stories of women dying because of the overturn of Roe v. Wade. No pressure. I can wait. So Jeff, please let us know if there's anything else you would like to be educated on, and we'd be happy to help you out. I would recommend some therapy and possibly medication for anxiety, as you seem to be very upset and angry about this subject regarding women. Also, a small piece of advice. Use a different email address when you contact nonprofits and speak this way. A simple Google search with your email address and your name brings up where you live, what you do, and your LLC. Probably not something you want people in your community who you serve to know about this email. Sincerely, the SHBB team. At the end of the day, these critics aren't who we work for. And so that's what we get. We just have to remember that they're not the reason we work so hard. They've never been in a situation like the women we work for. You know, if they had, they might be a little bit more sympathetic.
Well, we'll start with, maybe people who are pro-choice. What kind of pushback did you get?
I still get pushback. People will come on our page and just attack us because they think that we're out there saying that this is an alternative to abortion. We're not saying that at all. We're just saying that if a baby is born and it's going to go in a dumpster. We would much rather this baby go in our box. They're angry, like angry. And they just want to take it out on someone. And so the person that has a solution to a problem that is saving babies that are born, they just attack. So 5 days later, I received a registered letter from the Department of Child Services saying, shut your boxes down, they're illegal, or we're going to shut them down for you. Well, you don't back Monica Kelsey in the corner, because I don't do well there. And so I got Jim Bob on the phone and I said, do they have any legal standing? Now remember, I'm a little old firefighter medic from Woodburn, Indiana. Woodburn's the smallest city in Indiana. Well, now we're the second city in Indiana because some lady up the road had triplets. So now we're the second largest, the second smallest city in Indiana. And so you've got this little old firefighter medic, that's running a nonprofit with $0 in the bank, going up against the Department of Child Services and the Department of Health. And so I talked to Jim Bob and I said, am I going to get in trouble for this? Am I going to jail? And he says, Monica, they really have no standing. It would literally have to go in front of the Supreme Court in order for them to shut you down. We can continue to appeal if they shut them down. And I'm like, yeah.
Did you get any pushback from pro-lifers at all?
The state of Florida is one of the states that has consistently pushed us back. Senator Mayfield and Senator Perry, who are both Republican, both voted yes on the 6-week abortion ban, but refused to let the baby box bill be heard. And so you sit back and you think, okay, we're forcing women to have babies now. However, you're not giving more options when this baby gets here. So this is crazy. And so I've been very vocal on Florida and these senators that claim to be pro-life but block a baby box bill.
You can say that you cured cancer, but you're always going to have somebody that says, well, what about the starving children, or what about this, or what about that? And it's like, it doesn't matter what good you're doing. Somebody's always going to criticize you and say, well, what about this, well, what about that?
Or it's like people expect, because she's solving like one problem, they expect her to solve all. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you do you, and you figure out a way to save the starving children or whatever you think else should be done. Start your own organization just like she did.
Safe Haven, this Monica.
Yes, Monica, this is Shane Dallas, Forest City Fire Department.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm well, how about you?
I am very well. We are thinking that we've got our box installed. I want to run down a couple things and make sure before we start our 7-day testing.
So we left them open and the fight started. And you guys probably remember this fight. It was probably the biggest fight the Baby Box Foundation has ever had. To this day, no box has ever been shut down in Indiana. We have fought to keep them open, and we fight to this day for women to have this anonymous option. There was a baby in Chicago last year in January that was found in a duffel bag at the door of a firehouse. When this baby was found, this baby was frozen to death. Now, no woman in their right mind is going to drive a dead newborn to a firehouse. That baby was alive when it got there. That mother wanted this baby found. And unfortunately, this baby died before these firefighters came out and retrieved this infant. And so we see this still to this day, where they're going as far as they can. They're walking to the fire station. They're walking up to the door, but they can't face anyone. And so they leave the child at the doorstep, and unfortunately, some of these babies are dying.
I read someone drove 7 hours, a mom drove 7 hours to a Safe Haven box. After giving birth,
yep,
the emotional and physical, I cannot imagine the love that you have for that baby, but knowing and making that courageous decision to say, look, I can't do this, but someone else can.
Yep. Anonymous options is what these women are asking for. We just need to give it to them. Otherwise we're going to continue to find dead infants in trash cans and dumpsters across this country. And it's sad that people say, well, it's safer for a woman to walk into a facility and hand her child to a person. Well, hell yes, it's safer, but they're not doing it. You can tell a woman all day long to walk in, doesn't mean she's gonna do it. It's kind of like our kids. We can teach them all day, but when they leave the house, what they do is what they want to do, not what we hope that we've taught them. And so allowing a mother to have anonymity is honestly just the progression of the law. 20 years ago, the law was enough where a woman could walk in and hand her child to a person. Today, we got kids that'll tell you to go screw yourself on the other side of a phone. They'll text you, they won't call you. They don't want to go face to face with you for fear of judgment and shame. And so we have to advance the laws in these states to allow an anonymous surrender. Otherwise, we're going to continue to find these dead infants. And for every one infant that we find, it's been said that there's 2 infants we don't. And so you look at that. And the National Safe Haven Alliance goes, well, it's safer for a woman to walk in, so that's what we're going to put our money behind. How's that working for you? You've been doing this for 22 years. You have not combated abandonment in this country. It's still a problem. And so you continue to do what you do, and we'll do what we do, and let's work together. But they won't. We want to support women walking in and handing their child to a person, which, again, if you look at our stats, we've had 133 of those and only 32 in the boxes. So we're pushing that. But they don't want to work with us. Yes, it is safer for her to walk in. If we can help her, let's do that. But I'm not going to sacrifice a child to force a mother to walk in. Just not going to do it. He looks just like you there. Oh my God.
Funny.
We got a message from an account that has 4.7 million. They repost like other people's TikToks, and they want to repost a compilation of one of your videos.
That would be granting another organization.
No,
rights.
have you granted another organization rights to your content?
Oh,
Or do you still own the rights to your videos?
we're not selling videos. I mean, as long as they don't manipulate them.
No, do you want me to say, like, if you send me what you're going to post beforehand so that I can approve it?
Yeah. 4.7 million. That's impressive.
That would be really awesome if they would highlight everything.
Yeah.
Are you happy? Did you just see? Did you just see? Full belly, Kim. We got full belly.
The motion sensor light is probably the most tedious thing because it's one of those things that has to be perfect because otherwise if it's crooked it looks like crap. So try to take a lot of pride in doing this part.
That's still going down, not coming out.
Smiling. He likes it.
It's terrifying.
What?
Your baby voice.
He liked it. It's so nice.
Say bye,
Did
Mommy.
you see him smile at me? And
You sound
he's
like
just
Chucky, but like, yeah.
Well, clearly not.
Well, he doesn't know who
Terrifying.
Chucky is. That's why.
This is the photo eye. So this will get mounted here and then the reflector on the opposite side. So those do have to be lined up. Otherwise they'll get a bad read.
What?
Nothing. Where you going? Throw it on my stand?
I don't even know where that marker went. You chuck. Gotcha.
It's coming back. One day we just all came down here and Rick, which he's been building them all by himself, we just had spent a Saturday. All of us came down and Rick taught us all the little details, and for the first few weeks Rick probably came in and checked all of our work to make sure we did it right. Rick's been doing probably 100 boxes. He's relieved to have some help now. Those of us that help and do this, we get the enjoyment out of doing it. So it's kind of a win-win. This will send essentially a laser over to the reflector and it will bounce back. So if anything breaks that laser, that's what will trigger the alarm. So it's kind of like some James Bond stuff where they're dodging the laser, just like a regular heater in a house. We make sure the temperature's set to 75 degrees. Knowing we're giving mothers and fathers and the family an alternative to, surrender their child safely means a lot. I've had a long couple days, so.
I didn't know if you were gonna be here or not, so I just gave everybody a heads up. I figured you would be.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's hard to be sad when you're down here though. So.
They got a call on a unresponsive party. It was one of their own that Larry has ran with for quite some time. And he passed and did not make it. So, yeah. It's always hard. Always hard when it's one of your own. Actually, in November, Larry will be on 25 years. So he's ran with him for 25 years.
The crew that's down here, a bunch of grown men tattooed up, and everybody's got the same goal in mind, is no dead babies.
So when I was telling you, he pronounced 18 people dead his first year.
Yeah, this is kind of my tribute to just kind of honor the first 17 people that I was affected by. I'm having it put on my body just to keep me growing. I think the statistics are 40% more likely to encounter suicide with first responders because of the traumatic events that happen.
At first was not telling anybody about it. He didn't want me to tell anybody about it, and I respect that. But I also told him, I said, it's kind of a good comparison is kind of what we're doing here. We're changing that narrative on saving babies in boxes. Same thing with him. He needs to change that narrative and step out of his comfort zone with mental health. It is so important, especially in their line of work and the trauma that they see and experience, and it needs to be normalized. Right? They don't want to talk about it. So, especially these big, bad, tough fire guys, they don't want to talk about it.
I had some dark years, and I just recently started reaching out, getting help. And now I wear like mental health awareness shirts, and just starts the conversation with so many people because they're like, how do you wear that shirt to work? And I'm like, let's talk about it. Like, I'm not ashamed. It's a disease, it's an illness, it's whatever it is. When I came on, nobody talked about it. It was man up, go home, sleep it off.
100% they're making it more normal.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Well, you guys the fire station started yoga.
This fall.
Get your wife.
What
your wife.
When she's here, JJ, it's your problem.
No, I'm off the clock now. She's your problem.
Oh, that's nice. What is that? Metal?
I believe so.
So how'd she give it to you? Did she make you a romantic dinner and give it to you in a box? Get on one knee?
Apparently she had this whole speech, and then it ended up not happening because of kids.
I've been bugging him forever, and he's like, you gotta stop, you're gonna ruin it. And I found this ring.
She gave it to me and then jokingly said something about, will you marry me type deal, and I said that'll never happen. Because I told her I would be the one to make that statement, not her.
And I was like, that's super cute. I might as well buy it. I'm gonna have to buy his ring anyways. And so I made a whole thing out of it because I'm dramatic. And I was trying to be all sweet in the kitchen, and he was ruining it. And then the children were interrupting. So then I just got down on one. I was like, do I need to get down on one knee? And I did. And he was like, get up. Never gonna happen.
But I told her I'd wear it. So.